Thank you. Shalom. Okay.
So it's a balance of al tasit tefillas lekeva, right? So al tasit tefillas lekeva. You have to make it
meaningful,
but not.
So let me read. This is a.
I guess there's a point where our own evaluation of that has to.
Well, this was, he says, no devavihu. This was the. In other words, are we going? Again, I don't want to be so brutal to to other ways of doing things, and in fact, it speaks to me a little bit more. But I just try to learn the sefer. So what he's the shita of now finishing Shar Gimel and the Perakim is that we're not anything that you do, which is if you do any mitzvah your way instead of the way the halachic way is, including bris milah. Yashkem Avraham Baboker, you do bris milah in the morning. But let's say I'm making hachanas all day for the bris milah, I'll have more kavanah and I do 10 tefillos in the mikveh and everything. Very noble, it's a whole rebbe. But it's not, but where's the Vayashkem Avraham Baboker? What happened to Vayashkem Avraham Baboker? What happened to the Zriza Makdim? So it's lacking. We have no right to come up with our own ways and our own originality in doing the mitzvahs. And this is what he's saying, ad kedei kach, where the halacha becomes unimportant, like his joke. He ends with the joke. The halacha becomes unimportant. Should we daven mincha? No, the stars aren't out yet. So that's a joke. Probably nobody holds like that. But it's ad kedei kach. You see that kind of a thing. Like see groups of Hasidim and davening shachris in the middle of the night. So who says these are tzaddikim? I mean, it's hard to. Okay, but he's a tzaddik, right? Even a yachid. No yachid has the right to. So let me give me a moment. Yeah.
Why doesn't he bring another view?
He doesn't.
Huh?
He doesn't.
And why not?
I don't know. Maybe that's too big of an accusation.
Bring another muscle.
No, but over there they actually got killed for this. But
aren't there some prayers like davening yechidus or b'minyan? So it's obviously much better davening b'minyan, but it's not absolute halakha.
if that's the din, that's the din. No, but it's not a kasha. Once you have wiggle space in the din, so wiggle.
Right.
The question is when you have no wiggle space in the din, or bekvias, there's no such thing.
Is not so well defined either. I mean,
Why?
past the shkia is the problem, but
They made brisim past shkia.
right, so that becomes a problem.
Yeah, it comes to, but the main thing I wanted to say, because I've said it so many times, I just want to say it one more time. The main thing is, it's not about Zman Tefillah or about Tefillah B'tzibur. It's about, it's a very, very fundamental question that can we take Yiddishkeit, the mitzvahs of the Torah, and put them in our hands and say, for me, it's better to do it this way. That's similar to saying, this mitzvah doesn't speak to me right now, and this mitzvah does speak to me right now. Or for me, it's more inspiring to daven b'yechidus than to daven b'tzibur. Or it's nicer for me to daven shachris looking at the sunset than it is to looking at the sunrise. So a person could be, there's all kinds of innovations, and that's our nature, to be creative. But the problem is, where does it not become Yiddishkeit? And I want to say it again, that so what? So it's how you do. We don't have to be so litfish about it. And again, I'm just saying what he's saying, but the answer is, even if you want to be mashra the Shechina on Klal Yisrael, on yourself, on the world, who says you have a right to be mashra the Shechina in a way that it doesn't say in the Torah to be mashra the Shechina?
There's a quote that Rashi quotes Pardes Yisrael. Before it starts the says, "Vaydavar Elokim way more." Usually, the more means Moshe to say, but there's no Moshe in that pasuk. It's Hashem speaking directly. So Rashi quotes half of the Mechilta goes to Shmuel. That's al hein hein gal lav lav. But in Shmuel, Rabbi David pointed out in Shabbos that there's another day on the Mechilta, it's Rabbi Akiva, that al hein hein gal lav hein, and he said, "Doctor, this is exactly the Akiva."
This machlokes, it's interesting. Rashi brings half. If in Rav Soloveitchik in the Shiuri base, Zecher base of Imari, so where he talks about Kriyas HaTorah, he speaks about this machlokes, and interestingly, Lubavitcher Rebbe, in one of the Sichos, also speaks about it. I want to tell you one thing which is just slightly related, but I think as we talk, it'll be more related. But that's a very good sushtel. 1 second, before we get to the machlokes, the Gemara says, before we get to the machlokes, just let me say something as a side, that I spoke about on Shabbos a little bit. Ha'am royim es hakolos. We saw the kolos. So Rashi says that royin es hanishma. Lashon Rashi. Royin es hanishma. We saw what's usually heard. So I spoke about it Friday night. I said what I said. Royin es hanishma. I'm taking a long thing from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, which is on my stender, by the way. And he says that in everything, every piece of Gashmias, every piece of Ruchnias, every mitzvah, every Torah, there's a Gashmias part and a Ruchnias part. We don't see it. We see the Gashmias. In the scientific world, seeing is believing. If I can't see it under a microscope, it doesn't exist. However, it is a fact that just like there are sound waves running around here and microwaves running around here and all kinds of waves running around here, there's also spiritual stuff going around here, but we don't see it. We hear about it, but we don't see it. So Lubavitcher Rebbe says that that's the pshat royim is hanishma, that we were able to see at Har Sinai that which is usually just the nishma, something which is a yediyah. And Rashi does not quote the second half of the same Gemara, which says v'shoymim es haroya, es hanira. Shoymim es hanira. We also were able to hear, Rashi doesn't bring that, we're able to hear that which is usually seen. It means that there was a complete integration between Gashmias and Ruchnias. At that moment of Har Sinai, boom, we saw the whole thing. I saw Yitzchak, I saw Gashmias, I saw Ruchnias. So, like if I'm a doctor and I'm looking at you, I'm looking at your goof. Don't bother me, your neshama. If I'm the Rebbe Reb Zusha and I'm looking at you, I'm looking at your neshama, loch patli, what kind of a goof you have. And if you're standing at Har Sinai, all one thing. Royan es hanishma, it's all one thing. So that's what the Lubavitcher says. And he tells it to this machlekes Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Shmuel, but I want to hold off on that already. But just like this idea, the idea is as follows, that if you're not standing at Har Sinai, so you're learning Torah, so you're roya and you're nishma. The minute that the roa, as he says, chassid, right? Chassidish, what he says is that the point of Maisa mitzvahs is completely in this world, complete gashmias. So if it's complete gashmias, he says, if your ruchnias is telling you different, then your ruchnias is not important here. Meaning, if you were a malach in the world of Atzilus, Bria, or Yitzira, that's where malachim are in Yitzira. But if you were a malach or a neshama, so then he says there that then you have to be concerned with, like this part of it up here. You have to be concerned: is it working? Is it not working? But being that we're people, and there were Maisa mitzvahs, so at the foot of Har Sinai, we were like malachim. Says Mefurish in Chazal. But that's not the way we do mitzvahs. We do it in the lemaisa. We do it, for lack of a better word, scientifically. Like this is what we're meant to do. Just do your job. Yeah, very clear. But I want to say something. Let's hold off on everything. There's so many things to say here, and I'm not saying what I want to say. But, at the end, I didn't WhatsApp that, did I? You did? I did. Oh, look at that. So this is a. Don't usually quote him, but it's just so important if it's true. What he says here at the Siyum, this is Rav Leuchter, what he says here at the Siyum of Shar Gimel. He says as follows. Nakuda zu, second paragraph, Shura l'nakuda hamerkazis shesviva sevim kol haperakim halalu. There's a nakuda here, which is the central nakuda, central point to everything that we've been learning in these prakim. Ki'im merkaz avodaseinu hu tikun ha'adam, listen to the chakira, is the central purpose of our avodas Hashem. Period. Everything we do, we're all from Jews here. Everything we do is the issue is the goal here, the yad. Is it tikkun ha'adam? If it is, shaykh loimar, it's possible to say, shekol zman she'adam nisa v'lo hitzliach l'saken afilu b'mikzas etzasmai, that if I'm doing a mitzvah and it's not working for me, I'm learning Torah, it's not doing anything for me, Ein toelis b'avodasai. It is possible to take it to an extreme, to say, what am I doing this for? Isn't it? I mean, let's say every single day I put on tefillin. Everybody here puts on tefillin every day. I put on tefillin and I say to myself one day, it's not doing anything for me. it's not connecting me to Hashem, it's not connecting me to my heart, it's just not doing anything. I've tried and tried, I've learned Svarim, but it's not working for me. If the whole purpose is Tikkun Adam, so it's possible to say it works better for me to put on tefillin at night. It's better. Ulam, however, kishimidabrim al tikkun ha'elamais, let's say the purpose of the Torah is not Tikkun Adam. Rather, it's Tikkun ha'elamais. Wow. Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, Asiya, what does it mean? It means that Hashem put us in this world. We're like at the bottom of a string, as he says in Shar Aleph. We're like at the bottom of Yaakov, Chevel Nachalosai. And we're at the bottom of the string, and we're shaking that string, and we're making tikkunim all the way up through Atzilus, Yetzira, Bria, in the world of Asiya. So we're here at the end of the, so you don't tell the person on the bottom doesn't innovate of what it's doing for you. We don't care what it's doing for you. When you're shaking the string, you're trying to do something for the entire world. Maybe it's for all of history. Maybe it's a tikkun for people in China. Who knows what we're doing and why we're doing it, whether it works for you or not. Chakira. Is the purpose of mitzvahs tikkun adam, or is the purpose of mitzvahs tikkun olamais? So fundamental. So fundamental. Now, everybody here, including me, might have feelings about this. It's really not important, to be honest, what our feelings are. The question is, what's, in other words, clearly, what I mean by that offensive statement, clearly tikkun ha'adam is more inspiring than tikkun olamais. And as I said, if, let's say, tzaddikim like the Baal Shem Tov are going to go and say, what are we going to do about the poor, downtrodden Ukrainian Jews? Or what are we going to do about the simple people that didn't get a chance to learn, the water carriers and the shoemakers? Or what are we going to do about Shaftzai Tzvi? Or what are we going to do about Tach V'Tat? What are we going to do? How do we pick the people up? So if you're in Kiruv, which I can speak about with authority, I was in Kiruv for many, many years, successfully. So the main thing, to be Makar a person is tell them, this is how you can grow. This is how you can become great. This is how you can get in touch with yourself. This is how use mitzvahs to become more spiritual. That's what Tikkun Adam means. Tikkun Olamus means I don't really care about. You want a job? Here's your job. Put the string, like you're ringing a bell. Like, with the string, the bell's up there. This is not your business. The niggin is not your business. Just do what you're told. Do what you're told when you're told. So the guy's ringing the bell at the wrong time. You're causing chaos in the city. Right? It's. Yeah. Look, mutually exclusive. I don't know what you mean by that, but in other words, yes, you can do. You are doing one without the other. So that's with the other. But the point is, what's the goal? MS. So everything could be. Let's just see what he says. I agree with you. Ulam kimishibdabrim al tikkun ha'elamais. If you're talking about a whole different, why are we religious? Why are we showing Torah mitzvahs? That's how fundamental this is. The main thing is just do the mitzvah. We don't care whether you feel spiritual by it or not. If you do, that's how it works together. But it's not the point. You were created. Why were we created in this world? To make a tikkun that only an adam can make in the higher worlds. Why is that? We learned all about it. Because you have to have machshava, dibur, maisa. You have to have Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, Asiya. It's only with the world of Asiya that everything is complete. So it's not complete unless it comes in the world of Lamaisa. That's our job. Our job is in Lamaisa. We're not the philosophers here. We're not looking, does it feel spiritual? Okay. Olo. That's not the point. Gam im lefi hanira la'ayin, even if it seems to you that la yatsa mimena shum toyelas. I don't see any toyelas at all in this mitzvah. Al kain, tainus hayetzer. If a person says that I'm learning Torah, but I'm not getting anything out of it, you can only say such a thing according to the Havana. Ulam ladas Rabbeinu vaday sheish chashivas l'chol ma'isa she'adam oiseh. Of course, Reb Chaim Volozhin holds that the chashivas l'chol ma'isa she'adam oiseh gamim nira she'u lo yatzliach lahavi l'dei oitzeh is haruyos or she'u lo nasa mitay kavana tahira. So, in other words, this explains to us his whole shita. Again, if he's correct, but he's saying something brilliant here, that our whole shita of what lishma is and what shaloi lishma is. Is there something wrong? Remember the last parak Zayin of Perakim. Is there something wrong with doing of staying away from an avera because of yiras ha'onesh? Is there something wrong? So one side says, you're supposed to be getting close to Hashem. Yiras ha'roimimus. What are you doing with yiras ha'onesh? It's a davar garua. And another side said, whatever works. You're whatever works. You're meant to be doing something. It's like just as a mashal. Let's say you're being mechanech your own child. A mashal. So are you looking at like you want him to behave because it's important to behave, or are you looking at him to be a good person? I think the pashtus of it is that we want him to be a good person. But that might not be the pshat in mitzvahs. The pshat in mitzvahs might not be just to make us into more spiritual. That's other religions do that. Which means yiras ha'onesh.
Doing the right thing, not doing the wrong thing.
Right. Regardless of what your kavanah is. I, by the way, find it very disappointing. It might be true, but in other words, if you go through Reb Tzadok's farm, from top to bottom, which I have actually, gone through all the farm of Reb Tzadok, it's all tikkun adam. If you go through all the sifrei musar, Nevardik, Slabotka, isn't it all tikkun adam? You know, what are they in Nevardik? Why are they buying nails in movie theaters if it's not for tikkun adam? They're not doing anything for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So it's hard for me to be makabel that's not important. But he's not saying really that it's not important. What he's saying is that it can never be at the expense of doing the right thing. And what happens is that you're going to if you make a whole religion out of doing the machshava of it or the spirituality of it. Of course, Reb Chaim Volozhin himself was a big makubal, as we see throughout all the Perakim. And it was I'm sure a very spiritual person. You know, what's the question? As we're as Talmidim, the Netziv, the Rav Kook. You know, you can't get more spiritual than that. But it's all surrounding. By the way, in Shar Daled, Parak Aleph, Parak Beis, he knocks Sifrei Musar. Doesn't like it. He doesn't like Sifrei Yura. He doesn't like that either because it's a digression from the Etzem Zach. So it's a fascinating shayla. Let's just finish this. I want to tell you something about this. I'm sorry if you don't have it. I just thought it'd be better if you see inside if you have the ability. This is the segue between Gimel and Daled. After the Chaim Volozhin decidedly is koveya that the main avodah is not focused on Adam. Tikkun olam doesn't mean that you're making trees grow. Tikkun olam means tikkun olamais. This is what Hashem needs you to do. There's a whole bria out there really thinking, you know, it's funny because on the one hand, like you're thinking smaller, like there's no tikkun, just doing a maisa. On the other hand, you're thinking very big. You're thinking about the whole organization called the Brias Olam. It's like Mishtanis kama havana shel madrega lishma b'Torah. So our havana of lishma b'Torah is going to work. V'afsha havana mekubelas hi al lishma hi madregas ha'adam shel yom ha'Torah b'li negius, etc. So if this is true, the whole machlekes that's going on is a machlekes whether the focus of Torah and mitzvahs is the avodas ha'adam or it's tikkun ha'adam or tikkun olamais. Simple, maybe oversimplified, but foundational, yes? It's fundamental. And you could look at it, I want to add something here. You could look at it like from a practical point of view, like it's easier to get people involved in Yiddishkeit, whether it's Kiruv, whether it's Baal Shem Tov, if we're dealing with Tikkun Adam. What do you want to say, Shmuel? You want to say something more?
I wanted to say that in terms of the mitzvah observance, it seems to reduce it to like sort of mechanical maintenance. Like
Technical.
You have to check the oil, check the brakes. The goal when you buy a car is not to change oil and change the brakes. The goal is to get from A to C. But along the way, you have to do all these things to keep the car going. So could you say that not so exciting, but the mitzvah observance is like sort of like the maintenance you have to do to keep the spiritual machine running?
Look, let me just take your muscle for a second. Like, I don't know, growing up, my father, Olav Shalom, always bought lousy cars. We weren't zocha to. I always ask him, like, you know, why'd you buy that car? You know, 1956 Buick, you know, Oldsmobile. He always said the same thing, transportation. Like the purpose of the car is to get you from point A to point B. You want to sit in the car and you want to, you know, enjoy the seats and the radio and whatever other things they could think to put into it, which I do, I like that. But if you want to do that, so then, you know, you're taking the means and you're turning it into an end. Purpose is transportation. So just taking your mashal. If you look at the mitzvos, you know, the spirituality of it, and as I say, like I spent many years with a chavrusa learning Reb Tzaddik, and this is the whole thing, how to be masakin yourself, the whole Indian of Musar, cheshbon and nefesh. But those are the means to get to an end and do the Maisa correctly as we're commanded to do. This is what, isn't it this what Yeshayahu said to Chizkiyahu? Yeshayahu said to Chizkiyahu, like, stop machnish cheshbonos. What are you making cheshbonos about what's going to come out of your prurvu? You need to do something here. Hashem told you to do something. Do it. It doesn't make any difference what you know or how you feel about it. You have a job. You need to do it. It's not. I don't find that as inspiring as thinking that I'm growing and I'm becoming a holy man. But I want to just add something here that we've learned through the before we start Shar Dalet, we've learned through the last 230 Shiur that the machlokes of Tzimtzum. That's from left field, yes? Tzimtzum. What is the machlokes of Tzimtzum? Tzimtzum means, the concept of Tzimtzum is that, could be, that Hashem puts himself, Kilu, into this world, particularly into a person. So, Vayipach ba'apav is Chelek Elikai Mimal Mamish, Lashon of the Balatanya. Chelek Elikai Mimal Mamish. Chelek Elikai Mimal Zayar. Mamish is the words of the Balatanya. What does that mean? That means that Hashem made me into a godly person. It's very inspiring. Yeah. And godliness is a very inspiring idea. I think the whole Talmud Dvar is based on that, and a lot of Mekubalim are based on the fact. But you see, you have a thing that who's the winner in this kind of a race? The one who becomes more godly. So that's one way of Tzimtzum, which the Gra was against. The Gra says that there's no such thing. It's dangerous to start thinking that Hashem put God into me. It's way overstating, and it's Karav Lava Zara. So said the Gra. Says it in the Mefurish, in the Sefer that's the use of Karav Lava Zara. It's Reb Chaim Volozhin, Parak Beis, Parak Gimel speaks about Tzimtzum Ba'arichos, what it is. It's really the same question. In other words, if the idea is that the Torah is here, which is, by the way, a Chazal, I don't know what that means according to this, but if the Torah is here to make me holy, so the holier I am, I'm a bigger Rebbe. If I'm very holy, so come ask me for a bracha, because I am the one who's got the bigger tzimtzum than you have. Even mishpachas work that way. So that's like one beautiful way of seeing it. Let's not take sides. I'm just saying the chakira. What?
This is different than the neshama?
What is the neshama? It's itself the question. Is the neshama chelik? That's itself the question. I'm not talking about your fingers. The neshama.
The gra, I mean, everybody has a neshama. So what does the gra say the neshama is?
It's not important. I mean, I could tell you, I'm not keeping a secret, but it's not important because what the gra is interested in is saying what it's not. So what it's not is I have a spark of the Lord within me. You could say you need a neshama you could say a lot of things about what the gra holds about what neshama is and what tzimtzum is, but take it from me, it's a whole different shita. But if you're learning that, look, I'm a body, and there's a piece of God walking around inside of me, and I have a bigger piece of God than you, so come ask me for a bracha. I'm a holy man. So that idea is all based on Tzimtzum Gomer. Without Tzimtzum Gomer, I'm doing mitzvahs, you're doing mitzvahs. The guy who davens is more medayik and gets the nicer esrog and the nicer lulav, he wins because you're doing your job best. But if you'll take this other concept of Tzimtzum Gomer, so then it's all about becoming godly and becoming a chassid, a rebbe, a tzaddik, and then therefore tzaddik yesod olam, midas hayesod. I think this is the shaila that we're talking about. The shaila is lishma. What does lishma mean? This is what we've been talking. I'm just doing a review of the whole hadron here. What does lishma mean? Does lishma mean, as he quotes the Hasidim as saying, the lishma means that I have these very high holy thoughts before every mitzvah. L'shem yichud, kudshabrichu. I'm saying all the different things, and I'm thinking all the different things. I'm miyachid, shem yudke, vivavke, and is that what it means? Like I have these kavanas, or we agree with that. You are being miyachid, shem yudke, vivavke. It's none of your business. Don't say the l'shem yichud because your job is to do the mitzvah correctly. Avdei Hashem. Avdei Hashem. Which is the truth, I don't know, but this is an interesting tikkun. There's just something to remember, like tikkun adam, tikkun olam, sort of touches up the whole thing.
This was very, so Adam Rishon, we did the chet. So before that, it was the same, it was a whole paradigm shift. I mean, before that, Adam was just told, don't do anything. You can do everything, just don't eat from this tree. There was no tikkun, there was no, so what was the purpose of Adam at that point?
Of Adam Koydem Achet? Yeah. To bring the whole Gan Eden Elyon to Gan Eden Atachton. Exactly what we're not doing now.
It's also tikkun.
Of course. In other words, Hashem made a world because he wanted to make a world. And he put us in this world to maintain the world, La'avda Ula Shamra. And we took it for ourselves. We ate the fruit and we took it for ourselves. So now you're doing your tikkun atzmai. It's exactly the point. You're doing a tikkun adam, or what you felt was, I'm going to have more das, I'm going to be l'kelikim. It's exactly like a riot to what he's saying here. I'm doing my own tikkun adam and not worried about the main thing, which is bringing Gan Eden Elyon l'tachton, which was the purpose of the Bria to begin with. So it's hard to argue that Hagufa was the chet of the Eitz Hadas. Hagufa was the chet of the Eitz Hadas. You're working for your own spirituality instead of working for the tikkun of the world, no?
We've been educated, all of us, since childhood, to improve our mitzvot. The simple analysis of tikkun mitzvot is tikkun adam.
Yes. So I will say like this. That's the whole Musar movement, as I said before. The whole Musar movement is Tikkun Amidus. And by the way, the Gra and his Talmidim were the biggest Balei Chesed in the world. I mean, it's Yadua, even today in Brisk, like Reb Chaim Brisker. Reb Chaim Brisker is taking every Yassim. Nobody's against Chesed. Nobody's against Chesed. Here's the Chakira. The Chakira is, am I doing Torah to become a Bal Midos, or am I a Bal Midos because otherwise, how can you do Torah? That's the Chakira. Nafkamina, what time at Mincha? The nafkamina is what like essay doicha loisa say. Do we say that my spirituality is doicha the practical part, or do we say that the practical part is doicha the halacha, the ruchnias of it? That's our shaila here, which is profound.
Am I correct in saying that Reb Chaim would
Nachon. Nachon. In other words, you're not a soldier if you don't have midas tovos. There's such a thing as you're not allowed to teach Torah, it's already a Mishnah, to a Talmud she'eino hagun. Hagun, not hagun, he's learning, he's doing the Maisa. The answer is you have to be a kli. You have to be a kli for Torah. This is, even a simple soldier has to be part of the marechet, right? You can't just, we have chesed and we have midos, and chesed itself is a mitzvah. Chesed itself is a mitzvah. Hafta l'reacha kamoich is a mitzvah. Avos Yisrael is a mitzvah. I call beseder. But that's not for tikkun adam. That's for tikkun ha'olam. So let's leave it with this chakir because I'm over time. But that's the end of the whole first 3.5 Shiurim, and really the Hagdama to Shar Daled. And when we're focusing on the ultimate, you're learning Torah. Why are we learning Torah? Is it for self-enhancement, self-improvement, self-growth, spiritual? Or we learn Torah because Hashem said to learn Torah. So that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to learn Torah. So it's yesodistic. We all want to grow. We all want to be enhanced. But is that the purpose of the whole thing? That's the Shar Daled. Okay. Chaim, thank you for fixing the internet.